Hello creative cooks, welcome back to another episode of the Creative Phoebe Cooks channel. I'm Phoebe, and if you live in the Northern Hemisphere, you know soup season is literally around the corner as the temperatures begin to drop, which is so sad. In light of that, today I'm showing you how to make the most scrumptious cauliflower and mushroom soup loaded with tons of flavor. You're going to want to save this autumn inspired recipe and add it to your meal planners because it's that good. As you'll see over the course of this video, this recipe makes use of common ingredients you can access all year round, but ones that you may tend to gravitate towards mostly during the colder months due to a decrease in vibrant looking fresh produce around that time of the year. Sometime during this video, I'll be sharing my top tips when shopping for cauliflower so you can confidently score the best cauliflower on your next grocery shopping trip. So stay tuned for that so you don't miss it. Alright, let's get started by preheating your oven to 425 degrees Fahrenheit. Prepare a large cauliflower crown by cutting it into small florets using a knife or your hands. Now, although I've made this recipe on the stove top without roasting any of the elements, I must admit that roasting these ingredients together with matured portobello mushrooms and a few aromatics makes a huge difference in the flavor profile and aroma of the soup. It literally fills up your entire kitchen with beautiful aromas. It's amazing. I'll be roasting the cauliflower florets along with some chopped onions, garlic cloves, ginger root, and mushrooms. Then lay them all on a large parchment lined baking sheet or large glass baking dish. I'll be using a glass baking dish for the mushrooms to help retain their juices for later on in the video. Remember to download your free 5-step meal prep checklist using the link below to make your next meal prep session effortless. Slice the mushrooms into 1/2-inch slices and add to the mix. I shared my top tips when shopping for mushrooms a few months ago when I was making some plantain lasagna. I believe that's what it was. And I've linked it down below in the description box for you to watch as well. Season all these ingredients with olive oil, coarse sea salt, ground coriander seed, and some ground black pepper. The goal is to layer every cooking step with flavor. That way the soup is flavor forward. You can taste flavors in every single spoonful. Toss well and divide between 2 baking sheets so the elements have some breathing room to roast evenly. I'll keep the mushrooms in the glass dish, which will make it easy to retain its juices for later on in the recipe. Roast these elements for 25 to 30 minutes until the edges of the cauliflower are a bit charred and the mushrooms and remaining aromatics are wilted and fragrant. Now, these cooking qualities will surely, absolutely add a dimensional flavor to the soup. I think I keep on talking about flavor in this soup because, quite frankly, it's very, very flavorful. I can't wait for you to try it out soon. Alright, I'm gonna measure out some vegetable stock to lend a boost of flavor to the soup. I have a link below in the description box for my full recipe to make your own homemade vegetable stock. It's absolutely priceless. It's amazing. The one that you will see in that video is a bit purple because I had some beets in the stock, but generally vegetable stock can be brown or beige. Really depends on what ingredients you have on hand to do that. You may check out the recipe in the description box below, as well as on my website, where I have all the details and all the measurement of the ingredients in full detail. While the elements are roasting, here's what to look out for when shopping for cauliflower. Most cauliflower are a light beige color, and some may come in orange or purple, with the purple ones containing anthocyanin. But no matter what color of cauliflower you opt for, make sure the florets are firm, free from bruises, and that the entire cauliflower crown is heavy for its size. The crown should be supported by an outer green leafy layer, which helps to protect the florets from bruising. It's also edible. With cauliflower, I mean, that's about it. Save these shopping tips for the next time you need to get cauliflower for your favorite cauliflower recipes. If you're loving this video so far, please give it a huge thumbs up so that other creative cooks like you can easily find it. Also, subscribe to the Creative Phebe Cooks channel and turn on all notifications so you don't miss any new, delightful, and nutrient-dense plant-based recipes like this one. I'll also add that are also full of flavor, because just because it's plant-based doesn't mean it's not flavorful. So if that's something you're into, be sure to subscribe and turn on all notifications so you don't miss that. Thank you. About 5 to 10 minutes before the elements in the oven are done roasting, on the stovetop set to medium heat, warm up a large stock pot and drizzle in the remaining olive oil. Then add in the remaining seasoning agents, which include salt, ground coriander seed, ground black pepper, whole fennel seeds, ground cumin seed, crushed red pepper flakes, and raw cashews. Do not skip any of the ingredients for this base of the soup. However, if you have a low tolerance for spice, I suggest you start small with the crushed red pepper flakes, then build up from there. If you are daring enough, you can add in the habanero pepper, whatever works for you really. Stir these ingredients and toast them for about 3 to 4 minutes until they are golden and slightly smoky. But be sure to watch the process closely so it doesn't burn, or you may have to start over, or the soup will have a bitter taste. The cashews will add a nice subtle creaminess to the soup when it's time to blend everything. The ingredients in the oven are done roasting. Set them on the counter to rest while you attend to the toasting aromatics so they don't burn. Reserve some vegetable stock and water for the roasted mushrooms and pour in the remaining of those liquids in the stock pot with the toasting aromatics and bring to a boil for about 5 to 7 minutes with the pot covered. Separate the mushrooms from the rest of the roasted goods and set them aside. Add some vegetable stock and water to the glass baking dish with the mushrooms in it to deglaze the baking dish and wake up the juices of the mushrooms. Then later on, I'll add all of this to the soup. This soup is almost ready. Carefully transfer the roasted cauliflower, garlic, onions, and ginger to the stock pot except the mushrooms. Bring the contents to a slow simmer for about 5 minutes, then turn it off and allow it to cool for about 10 minutes. Meanwhile, extract some fresh lemon juice to add at the end of the cooking process to bring some balance to the soup. From it, you'll get a nice taste of tart, spice, creaminess, umami from the mushrooms. Oh, gosh, so good. Set the lemon juice aside and blend the contents in the pot until super creamy and smooth using an immersion blender. You can absolutely do this in a glass blender to blend everything up and then pour it back into the pot. But if you're like me, I really don't want to do too many dishes, especially when I'm filming and stuff like that. So if you do not want to assemble another hefty appliance, especially for soups, an immersion blender will get the work done. This one I'm using right now is quite a gem, and if you don't have an immersion blender, I have a link below for the one I use often. Have fun with it. Let me know what soups you like to make with an immersion blender. I'm looking forward to it. Once you're done blending, turn on the stove again to medium heat level and stir in the roasted mushrooms and lemon juice. The goal is to have the mushrooms whole in the soup. If you feel like you want to blend it, you may do that. Just do what works for you. But in this soup, it just makes so much sense to have something to bite on because it's mushrooms. Cover the pot slightly to prevent the soup from splattering all over your stove, because that definitely happened for me, and cook for another 5 minutes. Taste to adjust the seasonings and serve the soup hot. You may have it with bread on the side or top the soup with roasted mushrooms and a drizzle of olive oil, as I've done here. Creative Cooks, there you have it. This season's most beloved soup, or maybe I say maybe the first on the list so far. Cauliflower and mushroom soup, an unbeatable and flavorful soup to have any time of the year, other than the so-called soup season we hear everywhere. I can't wait for you to make this one soon. Share it with your loved ones and let me know in the comment section how it turned out for you. Be sure to get a copy of my digital meal and grocery planners, as well as my free 5-step meal prep checklist using one of the links I've listed down below, and write down this meal idea in your meal planners so you can make some for the upcoming week. You will be glad you did. Alright, Creative Cooks, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll chat again soon. Later!